collaboration with the sound designer Ren Kleiss. Also, Silence of the Lambs, Skip Livesay was the sound designer. And I worked very closely with Skip in creating the sound for the film. And there were points where we even did pre-mixes of our own with the score, the recorded score, and his sound design, and we pre-mixed before we even went into the dub. So we had a good understanding. And with Ren Kleiss, who's worked with David Fincher for many years, a brilliant guy, and he and I were, he was hearing what I was doing while I was recording it. Those 3 movies I did with David Fincher's a great director, Panic Room,
and you have the same kind of relationship.
Game, yeah.
And on Hugo, you had the similar kind of relationship with Eugene Garrity.
Yes.
Where, the sound and the musician come together.
He did, yeah, and he even, with the trains, he tuned the trains, the whistles, to the score. And so, a lot of the sounds are tuned into the same tonalities that I was using when I wrote the score. And I think that helped to create that almost magic a world to it.
Well, we're jumping ahead, we'll come to Hugo, but finally we can show a clip from David Cronenberg, this one from Crash, which was adapted from J.G. Ballard's rather unnerving novel of the future. And Cronenberg is always fascinated by bodies and by sort of inert violence. And he sends you a screenplay first, I think.
He talks to me about he usually sends me the screenplay, and then we have a phone call. We talk about casting. He'll tell me about who he's thinking for the film, and we discuss that. And we discuss things a little bit like that along the way. Mm-hmm. And we don't really have so much of a direct conversation, so specifically, because we work around the edges a lot on his films, and I feel that I have an intuitive feel for the type of film that David's making, either from just growing up in the same way or in the same neighborhood, but I feel close to him and his ideas. He's very forward-thinking. He's probably the most well-read person I know, and he's always a few years ahead of everybody I know. And you always feel like you're catching up to him. So each film that he does is a new experience. When you've worked with somebody that long, you can never rely on some old technique that you use, because we've done all that. So you're constant moving forward, and I love that. The Crash score was a return to what David called guerrilla filmmaking, because we didn't have the budget of films that we had done before that. I think it was The Fly, which used a big orchestra, was done for the studio 20th Century Fox, so we had the budget. And Butterfly, and even Dead Ringers used a very symphonic sound. But in Crash we didn't have that. And the score before Crash was M Butterfly. And I used 2 harps in M Butterfly. And I mentioned these opera techniques because I got very interested in the idea of the placement of the orchestra. Because I was orchestrating in a way for the acoustics of the theater or the room that I was recording in. And I got interested in left, center, right, and surround, because this was starting to become part of movie-making technology. You could do that. It was better ways to record music, and also better ways to experience films in a 5.1 system. Now they've even gone beyond that into 7, 9, and even more speakers. But the 5.1 system was a relatively innovative thing, and I started recording in that and writing specifically in that technique. So with the 2 harps from M Butterfly, I expanded to 3 harps, left, center, right. And the score was actually written in counterpoint for those 3 harps, and then transposed for the 6 electric guitars that played left, center, right, 2 electric guitars in each position, all the exact same amplifiers recorded live, and everything's set precisely in the same position as the 3 harps. And then it used 3 woodwinds and 2 percussionists playing all metal percussion. A lot of symbolism in terms of metal and the cars. So we stayed in that world, and it was a piece written for 14 players. So it was, a return to a different type of recording.
And does Cronenberg